Hello and welcome back to the Spookins channel, a place for us to chat all things horror. I am Sam.
I'm Sarah.
Today we have a movie review for you, quicker than we expected because we weren't going to do reviews on this channel and we keep watching movies that we want to talk about. So here we go, we're going to talk about them. Today we are talking about Presents, which we managed to see last night after seeing a trailer for it like the day before.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
This is a movie by Steven Soderbergh, who did Magic Mike.
Yep.
So, you know, the place you want to come from for doing your horror things.
Yeah.
It is a point of view of the ghost haunted house movie, like a mystery horror thriller. And yeah, we are going to talk about it today and tell you what we thought. This will be majority spoiler free until the end, where we will give you a warning to tell you that there are spoilers coming and you might want to switch off at that point. And I would highly recommend that you do. I know I would love for you to watch our video, but I would love for you even more to go away at that point, watch this film, and then come back and finish our video. So do that, because this is one where you really want to go in completely blind, to be honest, if you can.
Yeah, definitely. I think we knew very little about this film. We saw a trailer for it, like Sam said, like a few days ago. Hadn't seen anything else. I hadn't even heard of it. Thought it looked interesting. Thought from the trailer, oh, this looks like it's going to be from the point of view of the presence. So I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that. Having said that, we were a little skeptical going in because it seems like a similar concept to In a Violent Nature, which we didn't love. We found it a little bit boring. And it just didn't do too much with the concept. So we were a bit skeptical going in, but we didn't really need to be because we'll just dive right in. We loved this film. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to kind of be looking down a bit because I've written loads of notes because I've got an awful memory. And I want to keep this structure because our Nosferatu video went on for like half an hour and I didn't intend for it to. So. We'll start with cinematography. So this is a really well shot movie. There's lots of kind of sweeping long takes. It looks really nice. The house is huge.
It's a big house. Yeah, it's a big house. Not what we're used to here in the UK, where everything is tight spaces.
You would not catch that house in the UK whatsoever. So it's all set in this one giant house, but it kind of opens with this really long shot establishing everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you're, as we said, it's from the perspective of the presence. And the presence kind of takes you on a slow walking tour of this completely empty, barren house, just with kind of like the underlying, just a little musical score. And it kind of really does its job in setting the tone for kind of what's to come with as Sass said, like the sweeping long shots, which we get through a lot of this film. And then you get your little black screen cuts, which kind of stay up for slightly too long and kind of give you that little discomfort that you want from a horror movie. It's really well done.
Yeah, it is. Only thing I will say is if you get motion sick at all, just watch out for that. I get quite motion sick, so I've never seen Cloverfield all the way through because it made me too motion sick, and I got slight vibes from this one, but it's not too bad actually. It wasn't so bad that I had to stop watching the film, but it's just something to note if you are sensitive to kind of motion sickness or camera moving around a lot, things like that, because it is from a first person perspective. So as you can imagine, going up a staircase, it's a winding staircase, isn't it?
It kind of goes flat.
Yeah, and the camera just swings with it. So that's just something to mind.
What they do, they manage to keep. There's no shakiness to the camera, so it's not like someone's hand holding it. Like it's a very stable kind of sweep, and quite a calm one. But yeah, motion sickness probably. Watch out if you do suffer with it badly.
Yeah. But I think the long shots and the perspective, it really helps you. We never really see the presence, but you feel the presence. And you made a really good comment when we left the cinema about feeling the presence.
Yeah, so it kind of falls somewhere between, if we're talking about like the cinematography and the musical score categories. But the presence is basically the actor that plays the presence is like a combination of the director and the composer of this movie. And I have never had it from a film before where we just get these, like, as we said, this literally opens with a long shot of nothing moving around an empty house. And like the music in this, I don't know how they did it, but I could feel everything that they wanted, what this presence was kind of feeling. Like I genuinely, through this whole thing, was just feeling emotion on emotion on emotion, simply with cinematography and score. The score in this is amazing, and I've looked the guy up, and he doesn't seem to have really done a lot.
No, his name is Zach Ryan. So big up, man.
If I see your name again, Zach, I'm coming for that movie, because you did things to me here that have never been done.
And this film does rely so heavily on the score, because the presence doesn't speak. You don't
never hear it.
see it meaningfully. It's just from its perspective, and you can't see any facial expressions. There's no dialogue, right? It's solely on the score. And I remember there being points in the film where you said to me, "Oh, I wasn't expecting the score to go that way." It was a scene, I can't remember what the scene was. If I remember it, we'll come onto it in spoiler. But there was a scene, and you were like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting the music to go that way," but that's definitely how the movie wants you to feel about what you've just seen.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting, because that is it throughout the whole movie. The score helps you with the emotion, but it's not over the top. I think I said in Nosferatu, the best scores go unnoticed.
Yeah.
And although, yes, it was a beautiful score, mostly it goes unnoticed because it's just your emotions and what you're feeling about it.
Yeah, it controls you from kind of like the back of your mind. It's this really strange thing that you kind of need to go in and experience for yourself.
Yeah, it really helps like empathize with the character, considering we don't see them.
Yeah, and where we say as well, this is like there's a mystery element to this movie. The score and the way that it kind of plays with your brain and makes you feel kind of helps you like solve a mystery in a sense as well, which is just.
I think the score does help you solve the mystery, but we'll come on to that in spoilers.
Yes.
So we covered score. We'll skip that one, and we'll go on to talking about the cast. I don't actually have a lot to say about the cast because there's not many of them. There's 5, 6, there's 7 people I think in this film. 2 of them aren't in it very much. So it's a very small cast, but it's really solid performances. The actors, whose names I really should have written down, were great. The actress that plays Chloe gives a really believable
She does.
performance.
I think that's the thing with maybe all but maybe one of these characters.
Yeah.
Like none of them do too much, and it really kind of helps this film stay grounded and like keep you in it. Like you this family feels like a real family, and you kind of get and you witness little things that aren't really part of over the overarching plot.
Yeah.
But really kind of make this all feel like it's happening and like it's a real.
So you need the grounding because obviously the concept is very not in reality. I'm just trying to not spoil it, but the concept is not in reality, really. So you need that family to ground it, and all of their performances within the core family are really, really good. As we said, there's one that we felt trod on shaky ground.
Yeah, a little bit.
But we'll come on to them later.
Yeah, and never to the point where I felt removed from the film at all.
No,
like just a little bit
true.
like,
Just a little bit like, oh, okay, that's an interesting
yeah,
decision that you've made.
Lucy Liu is in this movie as well. If
She
you want a
is.
name, she's probably the name in this movie.
Yeah.
She doesn't get loads of screen time.
No, she doesn't.
But what she gets, Lucy Liu's good. So
She's great
yeah,
in this film, especially at the end.
yeah, she gets a little moment. Which
Should
is
we
nice.
just start talking about plot and spoilers now? Because I feel like we're veering into that territory.
Yeah, if you've got nothing else outside of
that's
that,
it. I've got nothing else
We'll
to
keep
say
this
on
one. We
that.
want this one to be a bit shorter than
Yes,
the Nosferatu
and
one. So
it's really hard to talk about this movie without spoiling
is,
it.
yeah.
So I think if we just move into spoiler territory now, we'll start talking about the plot. We'll start talking about the characters a bit more in depth and a bit more about kind of how the editing and the score helps with the plot. So this is your warning now. Like, please stop watching this video.
Yeah, no,
if you
honestly.
haven't seen this film, stop watching and come back, because I don't want you to go into this knowing very much at all.
and then come back to us after with your thoughts.
Yeah, come back to us afterwards. Give us 2 views. That would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
give us 2. Why not? Double them up.
So okay, that's it. We're like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Here we go. So this is a really good mystery thriller, and I think it is a horror movie, but first and foremost, it's a mystery thriller.
It is, yeah.
And a family drama. The horror, there are moments of the haunting, like when it's shaking up his room.
Yeah, the horror really comes entirely from tension. I would say is like the only real horror trait that we get in this movie.
Yeah, and I like the hauntings do physically happen.
Yeah.
Like that's the horror as well, but is mostly a mystery thriller, and it unfolds quite slowly and in peace. Like you said about the black fade to blacks.
Yeah.
Well, not really fade to black. They're just like, bam.
Yeah, it's like
in your face.
scene over. I mean, yeah, you've all this
Yeah.
is spoiler. So it's like, yeah, it's scene over, black screen, and it kind of lingers, and then
Yeah,
and
and a new
then you get
scene.
new scene.
So you get all these kind of like little vignettes of this family's life,
Mm-hmm.
which aren't all totally related to the full plot, but as you said earlier, they make the family feel real.
Yeah.
Like there's a secondary mystery with the mum who's committed some crime.
Yeah.
Like we can maybe think it's fraud or malpractice or something like that, but we never really find out. But that doesn't really bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me either. Hopefully, we get
Yeah.
a sequel called The Presence's Mum, a
Yeah.
little action thriller where she's chased by the mob because she owes them loads of money. So we get a Lucy Liu action thriller.
Yeah.
There we go. That's where we're going with that one.
Yeah. So there's lots of mysteries, but obviously there is the main mystery of who's this ghost? What are they doing?
Who are we?
Why are they here? Yeah, who are we? And there's a really great line in this actually about the presence being they don't know who they are, and it's really nice because we are the presence in this movie, and we have no idea.
Yeah, and this psychic lady
Yeah.
delivers it to the audience
To
as
the
well.
audience.
Yeah, she's looking
Yeah.
directly through the camera, and she says like, "Oh, they don't know who they are, why they're
Yeah.
here," and you're like, "No, we
actually don't.
No.
I thought she was really good in that scene because she can feel and sense the presence. So she's looking directly at the camera because you are the presence, and it's really unnerving
It is.
to just be like, oh, I'm actually being perceived in this way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, she's actually talking to me. Like, I have been perceived by this woman. But that was, she was really great.
She was great.
Really enjoyed her performance. I've gone all around the houses. What I was actually saying was this mystery unfolds really slowly, but there are so many hints throughout. If you're paying attention or on a second watch, you can put it all together from those clues. There's a lot of dialogue that hints at what's happening.
I think the dad has a lot specifically where he almost kind of telling us what's
The dad has a lot of foreshadowing dialogue, but I don't think it's too egregious. So sometimes in
Absolutely not.
films, you're like, oh, that's going to come back. That's
Yeah.
definitely foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Whereas this, because the family dynamic is so real, it sounds natural. Like there's, okay, I'm gonna write. If you thought you were big boy and was gonna stay for the spoilers, now please go because I'm about to ruin it. So the presence is the brother in the family, and the dad has lots of dialogue with the brother and the sister, which kind of makes you think. So early on, you can piece together it's someone in the family.
Yeah.
And then there's lots of dialogue where it makes you go back and forth between, which one's it going to be? And I thought that was really good because it is a slow movie. So to keep your brain going over. So when the dad says to the sister, "Oh, I wish you could never change," it's like, "Oh, is she gonna like be the presence and she doesn't change because she like dead?"
Yeah.
But then there's also dialogue with the brother, the son, and I can't remember what he says.
He's shouting at the brother because the brother has a go at Chloe. Tyler has a go at Chloe at one point, and the dad kind of stands up to him and just says, "Why can't you just stand up for your sister just one time?" And then you're like, "Oh, is that how it's going to go down?"
And it's also such a, not throwaway line, but because it's so natural, you can not think anything of it.
No,
if you're not actively trying to work out the mystery and you're just enjoying watching it. That's not how my brain works. My brain was going boop, 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 this entire movie.
See, I wasn't, and I didn't figure this movie out quite as quickly as you seem to have, because I found myself just kind of getting lost in walking around this house and feeling lonely as a ghost. And then it kind of got to the end and I was like, oh yeah, I'm probably supposed to be figuring something out. And towards the climax, I was kind of expectant of what was about to happen. But yeah, it sounds like you kind of worked it out.
Yeah, I worked out very early on. I don't know, there was a line early on in the movie, I can't remember what it was, but it made me think, yes, it's one of the family. And then the psychic comes in and says something like, this presence doesn't have a concept of time. I was like, so it's definitely one of the family, and it's coming back. There was no point in this movie where I thought it was Nadia, who is Chloe's friend.
It was the one what they
suggest quite heavily at the start that it's Nadia, but that didn't make sense to me. So I kind of thought it's got to be someone in the family because otherwise it's a disconnected character. And the movie is not really about haunting. It's about the family dynamic. It's about Chloe overcoming her grief and kind of finding her place in the family dynamic against the golden child, Tyler. So I kind of thought it's definitely not going to be a disconnected character. But that didn't take away from my enjoyment of the film. I think it rewards you.
It does, yeah.
It rewards you for paying attention.
It does. This is one mystery where solving it will kind of make you rather than just being a bit disappointed because you ruined the end for yourself. Like when Red Flag Man, what's his name? I've written it down. Ryan. When Ryan is putting the stuff in Tyler's drink and then he goes upstairs, I was like, I got it, I know what's happening. And it was a good feeling. So it rewards you. It doesn't tell you so overtly that you're like, well, obviously. Yeah, which is why this is such a good mystery film.
Yeah.
Because it does, you want to solve it. And you're happy when you solve it.
Yeah, and you're happy when you solve it.
Whereas a lot of mystery things, you kind of solve it and you kind of like, that was like...
Okay.
But this one does a really good job in making you feel like you've actually been watching the movie,
is still
right?
rewarding, even if you know what's going to happen. So let's talk about some of the performances now that we can talk about spoilers. So you mentioned that Lucy Liu moment at the end of the movie, and I thought that was really powerful. It's a complete switch up in her character, and it's almost like this cathartic release at the end for her character.
She's kind of this strong and stoic business lady who's not can't break for this family through the whole thing, and then kind of you get that last shot of Tyler in the mirror, and she just kind of finally gets to release it, and it's just it's literally like 2 or 3 seconds this moment.
It's not long at all.
But yeah, she does it so nicely. I don't know if anyone, don't know why, it's nothing to do with anything, but if anyone knows Hamilton, this is very much that.
Oh, when Eliza
noise right at the end of Hamilton.
Yeah.
It's kind of that way you can interpret it.
a few
yourself.
different ways, and it was really good. Everyone else, kind of their performances didn't really spoil the plots. We've already spoken about them, but the one performance that we thought was a little shaky.
Yeah, it was Ryan.
Was the guy playing Ryan. So I would say his performance led me to the ending quite early on.
Yeah.
He was very obviously like, I've read Catcher in the Rye, like, and I'm so dark and tortured and twisted. I'm gonna go assassinate John Lennon. Do you know what I mean?
This guy walked into the house for the first time, like however many minutes into the movie. Literally, the front door opens. And Sass is like, don't like him.
He's just an ick from the beginning, like just from the beginning. And then when he's asking her, like, oh, well, what do you think she felt like? I was like, no. And then there's another. I quite enjoyed his performance when he was trying to like suffocate her. But
that was good.
I did also think
nice.
at points he did some things with his faces that were a bit pantomime villain, and I was a bit like. Rein it in a little bit, because it's such an understated movie.
That's the thing, where the whole thing is so kind of grounded and real, and his was a little bit.
He stands out.
Yeah, he does stand out as there's maybe a little bit of overacting in a few places, and it stands out. In any other movie, he probably fits right in. It's just unfortunately in this movie it needed a little less, I think.
Yeah, it's an understated movie, and he just gives a tiny little smidge too much.
Yeah.
But he did make me really uncomfortable.
He did.
So
he did his job.
It did also work.
Yeah, he did his job.
He's a icky man. There was just one thing I want to talk about because we had a differing opinion on it, and I'll make it the last thing because we are actually going to end up with another half an hour review. Oh well. Is that shot at the end, and it's just before Lucy Liu has her incredible moment. Just as they're leaving the house, Lucy Liu looks in the old mirror and she sees Tyler's face. And I didn't love that. I thought that the implication was there. You knew that's what had happened. She says something like, he came back to save you. And I thought, yeah, I know. And I said it was rewarding knowing what had happened. And then it felt like it was like, okay, I'm just going to just in case you didn't get it, here's his face. Just so you know that the presence is Tyler, 100%. And I thought, could have left it without that because you get it. And if you'd left it, it could have still been up to interpretation. But I don't know. You thought differently on it. It didn't ruin my enjoyment of the movie, but I could have done without it.
Yeah, I just didn't dislike it. I didn't have any issue with it really. Like a lot of the time, I don't like when a movie kind of comes out at the end of it and goes, and this is everything that you missed.
Yeah.
This didn't feel like that for me. I thought this fit quite well. Like this moment. It didn't feel like we were just trying to show the audience, assuming we're dumb. To me, this felt like a culmination of a few things, and it's because they planted a few seeds through the movie as well. They mentioned the mirror and things before. It was like Chloe was special because she could sense it and things, and I kind of liked that at the end. That was also part of the mum, where the mum had kind of began to accept the story more.
Yeah.
And now she could have this moment of kind of realization and seeing it as well. But yeah, so I didn't like or dislike it. I just thought in this particular movie it fit with the rest of it, and that's fine.
That's totally fair. I think we just agreed to disagree on it. You can have differing opinions. It didn't work for me and it worked for you. So we'll wrap this up because we are looking at another half-hour review, Soz. In conclusion, I gave this a 9.5, but I think I'll bump it up to 10 because I don't like having halves. And I don't think that final shot, me not liking it, was enough to dock off a whole point from the movie. So I'm going to go in with a 10.
I gave this movie a 10, just flat out the gate as soon as it ended. I just loved it, and just what that score does to you. I literally couldn't give it anything less. I've never felt that in a movie just from score and camera.
That's
and
fair.
and I couldn't knock it a point just because one guy wasn't perfect. Like,
Yeah, I think that's fair. So, yeah, I think if you are skeptical of this movie because you didn't like In a Violent Nature, I think you will like this movie. It
Yeah.
does so much more with the concept.
it does. In a Violent Nature was concept for the sake of concept.
Yes.
It felt like they'd gone, oh, I've got
Yeah.
a cool idea. I'm gonna make a movie.
Yes.
But in this one, they were like, I have a cool idea. I'm gonna build my movie around it.
Yeah. So I would really recommend it. We both gave it a 10. So go and see it. Thanks for listening to another half an hour ramble session from us.
Yep.
We hope you enjoyed it.
It's nice as well. We took it from the movie in this review as well and did a big long take.
We did, yes. We didn't actually have to cut this one up,
There you
hopefully. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Do all the YouTube stuff, like and subscribe, etc., etc.
Wherever it is. It's down here or down there.
Don't know, man. Let us know what you thought of this film. Did you kind of go away and come back and watch the end? Let us know what you thought. Let us know especially what you thought about the end, because we had different opinions on it. So
Yeah,
I'd
it
be
would
really
be nice
interested.
to see what other people thought.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Speak down there.
Bye.